me and a big round of applause.
All right, so I'm going to start off by asking everyone a question. Do you guys remember being in high school and going into your first period extremely tired? Anyone? Yes. I was the same way. After reading an article in the Wisconsin Medical Journal, Dr. Dawn Dexter had stated that high school students are reportedly sleepy to class, which causes a decreased academic performance. So, when I was in high school, I had zero period, which starts at 7 a.m., and some years I had just first period, which was 8 a.m. And I remember sitting there in class thinking, oh, I wish I had 1 more hour of sleep, and thinking that that 1 more hour could have made a difference, and I could have paid attention in class, actually. By the end of the speech, I'm going to tell you all how the research that I found and the evidence that I've dug up suggests that high school kids should have later start times. I will begin on informing you with the low academic rates of high school kids. Then I'm going to tell you about all the physical and mental problems that waking up early causes for high school children. And then I will conclude on telling you the clear solution to this problem. Recent sleep research has found that adolescents that are between the ages of 16 and 18 are sleep deprived, which is caused by early school start times, and because teenage years you have different sleeping patterns. I remember when I was a teenager, waking up early was way harder than it is now, and that's because we are growing as a teenager. A study that was published in the American Economic Journal in 2011 states that did a study on the Air Force Academy and random high school freshman students that identifies the effects of school start times. The results showed that starting 50 minutes later had a significant positive effect of student achievement, which increased everyone's test scores. Then, now that I covered some of the academic statistics with you, I'm going to move on and tell you about the physical and mental effects of waking up early. To get started, let's examine the many physical and mental effects of waking up for school early. You can see on my little chart that I have here, teenagers who do not get enough sleep will become overweight, which leads you to having not enough physical activity. And people who are not confident about their bodies usually suffer from depression or, what's that word? Let me think of it. You have like self-body dysmorphia. You think you're big and all this bad stuff. And then it can lead people to start using and abusing drugs, which definitely will have lower test scores because of that. Next, there was a research done there was a research done with 9,000 students from 3 different public high schools that that had school start at 8:30 a.m. and teenagers were reportedly to have less than 8 hours of sleep, so that caused them not to get enough sleep. Teenagers between the ages of 16 and 18 are supposed to have more than 8 hours of sleep. At last, there was one more test that was done, and it was for the quantity of auto accidents between these kids, between the ages of 16 and 18. So they then moved their time to start from 7:30 a.m. to 8:55 a.m. and this decreased auto accidents by 70%. So now that I've given you a little overview, let's start with how we can change this problem. After interviewing Charlene Tabbitt, a Burbank Unified School District board member, the city of Burbank had conducted a poll research between parents and high school kids that they asked them, would you rather start high school an hour later? A lot of the kids were so for it, but a lot of the parents did not want this because of work conflictions. So it never passed in the Burbank School District, but they did pass this flex schedule, which allows kids to choose either to have a 0 period, 1st period, or start at 2nd period. And those kids who do start at the 2nd period would have to go all the way into 7th period. The only downfall to that would be not a lot of teachers taught 7th period, so a lot of classes weren't available at that time. Now let's recap what I've covered today. I've informed you all about the low test scores of high school kids, about starting school early. Next, I informed you about the mental and physical health of starting school early. And then I showed you a quick solution of what you can do to change it. So with all this evidence that I've given you, you can go to your local city school board. And I know none of us are in high school now, but if you have little brothers and sisters, you can petition for them to have an hour pushback in their school time. So you just go to your school board and you can just ask them what you can do to make a difference.